Hello, Algebra 1 class. This is your teacher, Mr. Pierce, and I did this screen capture video in order to introduce you to an amazing online tool that you can use to help you succeed in algebra class this year. This tool can help you study, practice problems, concepts, and skills, and even help you complete your homework. Introducing Symbolab. You can find this online at www.symbolab.com, and you can use this website at school or at home using any type of mobile device, laptop, or computer that accesses the internet. Here we have the home screen with the various options, and it automatically comes up to the calculator. I want to show you how to find the algebra section. If you click here on solutions, you'll see all the different course tabs along this gray heading. You go to algebra and you'll see there are 10 concept categories that are all covered in Algebra 1. If we go to equations, it will automatically take us to that screen for equations, and notice there are subcategories under each of these headings for the different types of equations or other categories that you may explore. Let's try a couple of examples. Let me input 3x minus 42 equals negative 12. And let's see how this works. I go over here and click on Go, and it's going to calculate this equation for me and find a value of x that is a solution for this equation. And here it tells me that x equals 10. Not too complicated, right? Well, let's try one that may be a little more difficult. Let's enter x. And now I could either hit the parentheses on my keyboard or I could hit the parentheses on my pad up here. Now I'm going to click on this and give x squared, I can hit the squared button here, minus 100. And if that is the end of my parentheses, then I can now say equals 1344. Now let's calculate this equation. And now within a second, it has pulled up all those different solutions for this type of equation. Notice there are more than one, and it shows me each one. I have x equals 14 as my basic answer, but then I have some irrational or unreal answers here listed as well. But what I really want to point out is that it also gives you all the steps for each one of these types of equations and each answer. And you can show the steps to get an expanded form or just look through this screen here. If you scroll down even further, it gives you a graph of this equation on the coordinate plane. This is plotting equation x times the solution, the sum of x squared minus 100 equals 1344. Also, if we go up to the top again, we can say keep practicing. We click this button, takes us to another screen with similar types of equations. Or if I want to print this one out, I can hit this printer icon underneath the red Go button, and it will print this equation and solutions and steps for me. So now I want to show you how the graphing calculator works. So notice above this gray heading, we have other headings. These are different tools that Symbolab offers. I'm going to click on this one, Graphing Calculator. And it takes me directly to the coordinate plane with all my different tools for my equation on the left-hand side. So on this panel, I'm going to just enter a simple equation, x. Notice it automatically pops up the equation of this line, graphing it on the coordinate plane. And it also gives me a second space for an equation. So I'm going to just put negative x. And it automatically gives me another graphed line on top of the other one. And a third bar. So what I'm trying to show you here is that you can graph more than one equation at once and immediately see how it would look when you plot that on the coordinate plane. Let me try a couple of more complicated equations. Let's try x squared. So I'm going to hit x, and then I could hit this button right here for x squared. And I have my parabola right here. Now a second equation, I can say negative x, and it will automatically give me a graph. But then I can say, I can add more information, like plus 4. And it's going to automatically slide that up. Notice it was a translation. It slid this up to the plus 4 y-intercept. Now that I have these on here, let's also look at a couple other options we have. We can save the graph with this blue button. I can also come over here and go to my settings, and I can look at labeling these different axes. Or I can also say show the function intercepts, which is where these lines cross. I'm going to click that and see how it automatically put plotted a point where these crossed. Now I can hover over any of these points or lines, and it will tell me which graph I am looking at or what point I am looking at. This is the origin. This is my negative x plus 4 line, and so on. Now let's look at how we can zoom this in and out. Let me give you a larger equation. Sometimes we deal with large numbers. So what if I have 10x minus 250? Notice I cannot see that line graphed on here. It looks like it didn't do it. But if we zoom out using these plus or minus buttons here, and I click minus several times, now I can start to see my line appear. And here it is crossing through at x equals 25 as my x-intercept. What happens if I adjust this line? I'm going to make it smaller by putting a decimal point in front of both of these. And notice it's already loading my new line. And there's my new line. 0.10x slope at minus 0.25 as my y-intercept. And it automatically zoomed it in for me. But I can zoom in more if I really want to see precise numbers. So I'm clicking the plus until I can tell exactly what's going on with this line. So these are just some of the tools that you can use with Symbolab. You can also go to Notebook, Practice for more practicing, Cheat Sheets. Now at Cheat Sheets, you will see a list of all types of rules and properties that we use in Algebra 1. Very helpful to know. You could print this out and study it, or you could refer to it during your practice sessions. So this is Symbolab, and I hope you enjoy using it and that it helps you be successful in Algebra 1 this year. Thanks for watching.